Megan Thee Stallion had social media curious about her comments on a video that accuses entertainer Blac Chyna of sex trafficking.
It seems like Angela White's whole Christian image that Blac Chyna has been parading for the last few months might just be a facade because, honey, Megan Thee Stallion just waltzed into the chat and blew the lid off this entire situation. Megan allegedly exposed Chyna for sending young women to Dubai to engage in shady activities with questionable men, reportedly against their will. And let me tell you, 2024 has been a circus from the jump, and it looks like it's only getting wilder as the months roll on. Who would have thought Megan would be the one to expose Blac Chyna, aka Angela White? But here we are. And just to add more fuel to this dumpster fire, one of Chyna's alleged victims, who's been trying to take her to court for what's being described as trafficking and exploitation since 2022, is now speaking out again. This woman has made it clear she won't stop until Chyna is behind bars for what she allegedly did to her and countless others. Apparently, this nasty business of luring young women into compromising situations is something Chyna's been dabbling in ever since her child support checks from Rob Kardashian and Tyga started drying up. This messy situation dates back to 2022, when a TikToker named Ava Louise, also known as AAL, posted a 2-minute video accusing Chyna of attempting to trap her in a house and force her into non-consensual activities with older men. The allegations included claims that Chyna invited Ava over to her Los Angeles home under the guise of discussing a music collaboration. However, Ava quickly realized that the meeting had nothing to do with music. According to her, it was a setup for what can only be described as an exploitative encounter. Ava claims Chyna repeatedly asked her invasive questions about her identity, including whether she was transgender or had ever worked as an escort, and then FaceTimed others who laughed about the situation, leaving Ava feeling humiliated and scared. The situation only got darker as Ava described how Chyna manipulated her into staying at the house. When Ava's Uber arrived, Chyna allegedly pulled her into a bathroom, locked the door, and used intimidation tactics to make her stay. To make matters worse, Ava claims 2 men stood guard outside the bathroom door, adding to her fear and feeling of entrapment. She was only able to leave hours later when Chyna reportedly became overly intoxicated. In an effort to back up her claims, Ava presented text transcripts and screenshots of her interactions with Chyna, which she says were also submitted to the authorities when she filed a report with the LAPD and FBI. In her TikTok video, Ava detailed how Chyna's behavior throughout the night was bizarre and unsettling. She described being forced to wipe off all her makeup with a wet towel, having her personal space invaded as Chyna compared hand sizes and tried on her shoes, and being told repeatedly that she couldn't leave until 10 a.m. because Chyna claimed she was waiting for her daughter, Dream Kardashian, to leave the house. Ava said the entire ordeal left her feeling trapped and terrified, and before anyone could start with the "where's the proof" argument, Ava came armed with receipts, including screenshots of her DMs with Chyna and the NDA she was forced to sign upon arrival. According to Ava, the NDA was unlike anything she'd ever seen, requiring her to list personal details like her eye color, hair color, and even what she was wearing. This situation has spiraled further, with more alleged victims coming forward to share eerily similar stories. Several women claim Chyna recruited them through DMs or approached them in nightclubs, offering vague promises of opportunities. One TikToker noted that Chyna's alleged pattern of behavior includes scouting young women who are often overlooked or not taken seriously by society, whether due to their background, appearance, or reputation. These women have claimed that Chyna uses their vulnerabilities against them, knowing that their stories might not be believed in the court of public opinion. Of course, Chyna's team quickly jumped into damage control. She denied the allegations, calling them false and outrageous, and even sent Ava a cease and desist letter in an attempt to silence her. According to Chyna, Ava's accusations were nothing more than a desperate bid for clout. But when that cease and desist expired, Ava wasted no time hopping back online to continue exposing Chyna. In follow-up videos, Ava explained that Chyna specifically targets young, impressionable women with a social media following because she knows their credibility will be questioned if they speak out. Ava shared more screenshots and testimonies from other women who had allegedly been approached by Chyna in similar ways, with text messages showing a disturbing consistency in how Chyna interacted with them. The situation took an even stranger turn when Megan Thee Stallion decided to weigh in unexpectedly, setting the internet ablaze with curiosity. In what appeared to be a random yet deliberate move, Megan commented on one of Ava's TikTok videos, leaving a trail of supportive emojis. While this may seem minor on the surface, the implications were seismic. Megan isn't known to casually insert herself into controversies, especially one as murky and scandalous as this. Her involvement left many people utterly stunned because, as far as the public knows, Megan and Chyna don't have any significant personal or professional relationship. This wasn't some friendly banter between colleagues or a show of solidarity among industry peers. Instead, it was a deliberate nod of acknowledgement that quickly spiraled into a frenzy of speculation. Fans and critics alike began dissecting the layers of Megan's comment. Why would someone of Megan's stature risk aligning herself, even subtly, with Ava's allegations against Chyna? Did she know something the rest of the world didn't? Was this a calculated move, or simply an impulsive show of support? Theories ranged from Megan having insider knowledge about Chyna's alleged activities to her possibly being aware of others in the entertainment industry who've been victimized by similar behavior. Some even speculated that Megan might have been indirectly warning Chyna that her alleged actions were no longer flying under the radar. The streets and the internet were talking, and Megan's single act of dropping emojis became a beacon of intrigue. Ava, clearly taken aback by Megan's public endorsement, wasted no time expressing her gratitude. In follow-up videos, she thanked Megan for showing support and boldly encouraged her to come forward with any additional information she might have. Ava's tone hinted at a belief that Megan's subtle interaction wasn't random, but rather a quiet affirmation that she knew the truth and was signaling her alignment. Ava even urged her followers to rally behind Megan and pressure her to speak out further, hoping that this unexpected celebrity endorsement would lend her story even more credibility. Megan, however, didn't elaborate on her comment. Her silence in the days that followed only deepened the intrigue, leaving fans and media outlets scrambling to interpret her motives. Was this silence strategic, or was it an oversight in a rapidly escalating drama? Meanwhile, the ripple effect of Megan's involvement had a profound impact on public perception of the allegations. Chyna's team, which had already been working overtime to discredit Ava's claims, now faced a new challenge. Megan's involvement added an undeniable layer of legitimacy to Ava's story, even if Megan hadn't explicitly said anything. The comment became a rallying cry for those who had long harbored suspicions about Chyna's behavior. Across social media platforms, people began sharing their own unsettling encounters with Chyna or stories they'd heard through the grapevine. Former nightclub workers came forward with anecdotes about Chyna's alleged habit of recruiting young women from vulnerable situations, often using her celebrity status as a lure. This groundswell of accusations wasn't confined to whispers in the dark corners of the internet. Several women began posting their own TikToks, recounting eerily similar experiences where they felt trapped or coerced after interacting with Chyna. One particularly chilling story involved a woman who claimed Chyna invited her to a girls' night, which quickly devolved into a series of increasingly uncomfortable scenarios, including being introduced to older men who seemed far too invested in her presence. These stories painted a picture of Chyna as someone who allegedly preyed on the insecurities and vulnerabilities of young women, exploiting her fame and wealth to manipulate and control them. Chyna, on the other hand, remained tight-lipped about Megan's involvement, while she continued to vehemently deny Ava's allegations and paint her as a clout chaser. She notably avoided addressing Megan's comment. This silence was deafening to many. If Chyna was innocent, why wouldn't she call out Megan for what some might consider an unfounded show of support for Ava? By staying silent on the matter, Chyna inadvertently fueled the narrative that Megan's involvement had struck a nerve. Public opinion, which had already begun to turn against Chyna, now seemed to snowball. The weight of Megan's implicit backing, combined with the growing number of allegations, created an atmosphere where Chyna's denials felt increasingly hollow. As the story continued to unfold, Tokyo Toni, Chyna's notoriously outspoken mother, was notably absent from the conversation. For now, those familiar with Tokyo's fiery personality knew it was only a matter of time before she entered the fray, potentially adding more chaos to an already volatile situation. Subscribe, because this story ain't over.